Now at 7 o'clock, newly released video that lawyers for the state of Oregon say shows federal agents using excessive force at protests outside Portland's ICE facility. We'll take a closer look at the video coming up.
And today is also Election Day. Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz joins us live for a look at some key local races and what the outcome could mean for you. Plus,
it looked like a humongous meteor coming to town.
I think it would be aliens for sure, 100%.
Yeah, some of the video looks like meteors for sure. We also have what looks to be just stars streaking through the sky. This happened in Shelton, Washington, a little more than 20 miles outside Olympia. Not meteors, though, not aliens. We're going to explain what this really was at 7:15.
good morning and thank you for joining us here. I'm China Green.
And I'm Drew Carney. Before we get to Rod Hill, we do have some news for you this morning. Vice President Dick Cheney has died at the age of 84. He served 2 terms as VP under President George W. Bush from 2000 to 2008.
And coming up in 22 minutes, a look back at Cheney's life and impact.
All right, let's send it over to Rod and Chris now for a look at weather and traffic.
Hey, good morning. Remember, today is the day that starts off quiet, and then our next wave of steady rain comes in later this afternoon. So here's Futurecast at 3 o'clock today. Here's Futurecast at 6. Now we've clearly have some rain that's moved through Portland and heavier rain amounts hitting Newport. So the quiet part of your day, the dry part of your day this morning into the afternoon hours. Here's our sky camera down in Salem. We are picking up, nothing is really being reported as absolutely dense fog, but foggy areas. There's a low-hanging cloud deck just kind of kissing the top of the state capitol in Salem. You can see that it is foggy up in the West Hills behind Portland. Early morning numbers, another mild start. We're at 49 degrees. So could be some misty spots if you're in the fog. Otherwise, all dry, 47 on average out the door. Be cloudy, 56 degrees at noon, all dry. And then rain chances start to pick up first down in Albany and Salem mid-afternoon. Portland probably get home from school before any raindrops return, but it will be a rainy evening. High temperatures nearing 60. Here's Chris.
Okay, Rod, thank you for that. Let's get you out the door. Got a couple of things to look at. I want to start off down in the Westland area, actually south of Westland, I-205 near Stafford Road. It appears that we've got a crash between Westland and Stafford Road. Not sure which lane is blocked at this point, but you can certainly see traffic running really thick here, trying to get by that crash scene. Again, this is about 2 miles south, or 3 miles south of the Westland area. So traffic is actually stacked up back towards 10th Street in Westland at this point. Over on the Sylvan Hill, this is Highway 26. Cars running right up through that low cloud deck, as Rod mentioned. So it's a little foggy or cloudy there, but the drive getting busier, as you would expect this hour of a Tuesday morning commute. There you can see up to about 18 minutes in from Hillsborough. And last but not least, the drive from Clark County, of course, slow and steady over the Interstate Bridge. Guys, that's about 18 minutes now to get you in from Main Street.
All right, thank you, Chris. We're getting a look this morning at some of the video evidence that's been presented to a federal judge in the ongoing case to decide whether the Trump administration can or can't deploy the National Guard to Portland.
A video submitted by the Oregon DOJ show federal officers using what they believe to be excessive force against protesters. KGW's McCarty has a story.
During the 3-day trial in federal court, the federal government and the state submitted more than 750 exhibits, evidence for and against the deployment of federalized National Guard to Portland. As first reported by the Oregonian, videos shared by the Oregon Department of Justice show just some of the confrontations between federal agents and protesters. Confrontations plaintiffs label as excessive force on the part of the feds. The first video from August 13th shows 2 masked officers run behind a man standing on the sidewalk and shove him to the ground. Another angle of this incident showing 24 agents coming down the driveway as gas from one of their canisters fills the air. 3 days later, footage shows agents rushing down the road after protesters amid more smoke and tear gas. Then, in a time jump to the end of September, federal officers are seen converging on a group of people near the driveway after one pushes a demonstrator. Agents grab 2 more people, pulling them inside. The final 2 clips are from October 2nd, the first around 8:15 p.m. After a protester crosses the blue line, agents can be seen running after her and walking her inside. Around 9 p.m., another person crosses the line, prompting several agents to charge forward.
They come out and practice crowd control using crowd control munitions against nonviolent protesters.
We talked with protester Vincent Hawkins, who detailed his experience with agents outside the facility. He was struck by a canister in the eye back in June.
I've been shot. I know friends that have had their bones broken, and they continue to come out here.
Meantime, the feds say there are protesters who are being violent against officers. 38 people have been charged with federal crimes near the ICE facility. The most recent, a Portland woman who made her first court appearance Monday for allegedly striking an officer's arm.
Again, that was Alma McCarty reporting for us this morning. We also reached out to the Department of Homeland Security for the story. They acknowledged receiving our request for comment, but did not give a response to those videos we just saw. All right, today is Election Day. Not considered a big election cycle, either nationally or locally, but there are a few notable measures on local ballots.
Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz joins us from a ballot drop-off site in Northwest Portland. So Thomas, walk us through some of those bigger measures.
Yeah, well, guys, we'll start here in Multnomah County, where both the county and the city are asking voters to renew a levy for parks funding. If it is passed, it would allocate around $86 million next year for parks funding and more than $450 million over the 5-year lifespan of the levy. It would be used to clean and maintain parks, preserve access to free and discounted classes, as well as recreation programs. Though the measure could cause property taxes to increase more than 3%. The median homeowner would pay about $310 a year. That's a $130 increase each year from what it is right now. Still, Mayor Keith Wilson says the parks are worth the investment.
It's a difficult time, but we have to value the parks, and this is the time to really make sure that that value, that asset, is really high performing and well maintained.
Over in Washington County, they've also proposed a measure which would fund the public libraries. That measure would fund in-person events, tutoring, as well as public access to Wi-Fi. It costs about $130 per year for every home. That's worth $350,000. Now, voters don't have much time, guys, to get those ballots in if they haven't done so just yet. Just until 8 o'clock tonight is the deadline to either drop it off or mail it in with it postmarked with today's date. That's just here in Oregon. Coming up in the next half hour, we'll break down some of the big measures on the ballot up in Southwest Washington as well. Guys.
All right, Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz handling our Election Day coverage for us. Thank you, Thomas. Following 2 federal court rulings, the Trump administration says it will partially fund the SNAP program this month. In Oregon alone, there are roughly 750,000 people who receive those benefits. It's still not clear at this point how much they'll get during November or when exactly they'll get it. In the meantime, local governments, nonprofits, and businesses have stepped up to fill the gap. Feed the Mass is a nonprofit kitchen in Portland's Old Town. The development director told us they already do about 6,000 meals a week and are now leaning on volunteers to help meet, that is, the even greater demand.
These are all new contacts. None of them are repeat. They just need some kind of assistance. They're trying to feed their families, how they're going to make it through the next day. So we just give them what we can.
People can also sign up to receive grocery store gift cards through the Feed the Mass website. The USDA has already said it could take weeks or even months for states to figure out how the reduced SNAP benefits will work. We have a growing list at KGW.com of local organizations that have stepped up to either donate, fundraise, or give out free meals for people dealing with late or reduced SNAP benefits. You can text the word SNAP to that number on your screen, 503-226-5088, and we will text you back with the link to that list.
As the government shutdown continues, the Oregon Zoo is trying to give our local federal workers a bit of a break. So it's offering free admission this week for employees affected by the shutdown and half price for everyone else. The zoo says visitors must also show a valid photo ID and federal ID at the gate to claim the benefit. They're encouraged to reserve tickets in advance online due to capacity limits.
It's actually really easy. All they have to do is go online to OregonZoo.org and they order their tickets. They pick their date, their time, and they just click a button, and all they have to do is make sure they just bring their federal ID with them when they come to the zoo.
And if you didn't know, it's also Polar Bear Week and one of the last chances to see Nora before she moves to her new home in Wisconsin.
All right. You want more zoo? We've got more zoo for you. We've got mountain goats at the zoo. A live look. Yeah, they are up. They're at them. They're ready to go. Start their day. Remember we talked about the names of these mountain goats a few weeks ago?
Yeah.
Now I can't think of it. I'm going to look it up real quick.
It doesn't matter because to me it's.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, Michaela, one of our producers, said Sassy is one.
Sassy is one, and the other one just looks like a Charlie to me.
Lena is enough with your fake names, China.
What?
Sassy is one. Lena is another, and I'm struggling to come up with the third.
Charlie.
I do remember Sassy, yeah.
I'm looking it up.
All right.
I'll look it up while you do your weather forecast, Rod.
Fog showing up there at the zoo in the West Hills. Again, that's up at about 600 feet in elevation. Hey, a quick reminder that we've issued the impact alert for tomorrow and Thursday. There's a front tomorrow morning, there's a front Thursday afternoon. We think both days will have occasional shots of heavy rain just coming and going. Gusty south wind. So far, no advisories or watches issued, but noticeably a blustery day and could be some thunderstorm mixed in. So obviously all of that will impact your outdoor plans and maybe just your driving around the city or traveling around the region tomorrow and Thursday too. It will be rain generally over Cascade Passes and all rain tonight up over Timberline Lodge as that first wave of moisture comes in. Right now, other than some mist and some fog pockets, we're just seeing low cloud cover. Here's the Reserve Vintage Golf Club out in Aloha. Very cloudy out in Washington County. A similar cloudy scene on the east side. That's Camas Meadows Golf Course. Winds are generally southeast to 5 to 10 out there currently. 48 in Troutdale, 48 in Hillsborough, 48 in Tigard, Sherwood, Oregon City, Wilsonville. There's Corvallis, Salem, good morning. You are at 50 degrees. All right, so the weather map today. Basically, outside of some morning misty spots, we're all dry until rain starts to come up from the south. As early as mid-afternoon into Albany, and maybe not until about 5 o'clock, we start to see raindrops in Portland. It could be as soon as 4. But it's a late afternoon coming up from the south rain event. And then once that starts, it'll be a rainy evening for you. We have the impact alert, as I mentioned, tomorrow and Thursday. By Friday morning, the wind has calmed down, but there will be showers during the morning hours. At some point, I think the rain disappears Friday. We're dry Friday night, Saturday, and we could be dry the entirety of Sunday. We are telling you now, well, maybe the next rain comes in as early as Sunday evening, but that may hold off until Monday morning. That's your update.
Rod, thanks for that. I've got a couple of traffic alerts we want to check out. First off, I-205, just past West Lynn. It's actually a little closer to Stafford Road. It appears that we've got a fender bender, maybe on the shoulder. It's really starting to slow the 205 drive, though. This is out near Blankenship Road. Our speed sensor showing we're moving along at about 12 to 15 miles an hour. And not that it's all that unusual to be lined up towards Gladstone at this hour, but this is a little extra thick. So give yourself an extra few minutes to get you from Clackamas south of Tualatin if that's your route over the next little while. Meanwhile, over on the west side, some new trouble on 217. It appears that we've got a fender bender northbound between Allen and Beaverton Hillsdale Highway. I don't see it here on camera, but you can see the commute is really starting to slow on that side of town. So certainly keep you posted on that one as we look at that 217 drive. Meanwhile, your freeway drive times are, of course, building, and we'll show you those right now over on the west side. Inbound Sunset's about 17 minutes from Hillsborough, and of course the I-5 drive from Clark County. Slow and steady now crossing the interstate bridge. We're up to 20 minutes to get you in from Main Street to the Fremont. Drew?
Thank you, Chris.
It looked like a humongous meteor coming to town.
I think it would be aliens for sure, 100%.
It was not aliens. Repeat, it was not aliens, but something was happening in the sky. There, we're talking about an area right near Olympia. We're gonna have more on the fire in the sky there coming up after this.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news, live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news, live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
People in Shelton, Washington, about 20 miles outside Olympia, were left scratching their heads after seeing what looked like fireballs streaking through the sky. Now, some people thought they were meteors. We also heard from one witness who said maybe it was aliens.
That was a good guess. I would have guessed that. But it turns out it was none of those things. Connor Board with our sister state in Seattle tracked down the source of the mystery. Take a look.
It looked like a humongous meteor coming to town.
Fireballs raining from the sky. That's what multiple people reached out to King 5 about Sunday night.
I think it would be aliens for sure, 100%.
Ryan Vertigo and Andy Farrington were two of the 14 skydivers who took part in what they call a pyro jump.
And it just left this big old trail of fire behind our feet. And then, yeah, flying like squirrels.
Here we go.
It was out of this world. It's nothing like I've ever really experienced. It was probably the most fun jump I've really ever had.
Andy helped lead the group.
So it's like one, and then it's just one right after another. And then my suit was white and lit up pretty good, so then everybody just kind of knew where to go.
Ryan has been organizing the jump the past month and a half.
Actually, haven't heard of a lot of people doing night wingsuit jumps before, very recently this large, and I wanted to do something really cool for the season kind of coming to an end.
And he made all of the pyrotechnic equipment himself.
Obviously, we had pyro hooked up to here. We have it up here on our left foot. A lot of help with it, but then I had to build everything by scratch. So this switch, everything. Chest strap on.
All the skydivers jumped in wingsuits.
This is the one I wore last night, yep.
Which allow them to soar at around 30 to 40 miles per hour.
And when it's time to pull your parachute, you reach back and pull your pilot chute right there.
While they can confirm no flying saucers were above Shelton Sunday night,
no aliens.
They cannot confirm people won't see more of their showmanship in the future.
So I'm going to do much more. So Shelton locals better get ready for it.
In Shelton, Connor Board, King 5 News.
I guess I have to ask Rod Hill what's happening in the skies above Oregon and Southwest Washington this morning.
What's cool about that to me was you couldn't see any of the body parts. It was just like shirts. Lit up aliens in shirts. That's my story. Here's a look at what is happening to Mr. Carney's point. Weather system offshore. This front, we have two of them. One comes in tomorrow late morning. The other one comes in on Thursday. Again, we have the impact alert for kind of rock and roll weather. Heavy rain pockets at times, gusty winds. No watches or advisories posted, however, and maybe some thunderstorms. So we're tracking all that. Meanwhile, we got rain feeding into Northern California this morning, and Futurecast still says we have a dry day until we get into mid to late afternoon. Here's 3 o'clock. Everything's coming up from the south. Here's that 4, 5, 6 o'clock hour with rain now all the way up toward Mount Adams, Longview, and Astoria, and then heavy rain coming into us during the overnight hours. This is Wednesday morning, tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. It's not going to show you steady rain, but it just shows you just constant heavy rain pockets coming and going. Wednesday night into Thursday. Maybe some thunder and lightning mixed in. Certainly gusty south winds are going to be blowing. More than not, you'll be seeing leaves blowing off the trees in the coming days. Rain amounts will be a big soak. This shows on average maybe getting 1.25 inches, 1.5 inches of rain from what falls tonight through Friday noon from Eugene up into Portland. And well over 2 to maybe some spots approaching 3 inches of total rainfall at the coast. Winds, again, no advisories or watches issued as of right now. This shows south winds tomorrow morning in Newport gusting 40 to 45 miles per hour. It shows at noon, Salem 36, maybe a 40 mile per hour wind gust. And then still just noticeably blustery south winds coast and valley. And for that matter, out across eastern Oregon as well. Through the afternoon hours. And those wind speeds are potentially some 30 mile per hour gust at the lowest continue on Thursday. So that's what we're tracking. It will be generally rain up through pass level. The lowest snow level I have is 5,000 feet during that stretch. Great visibility coming across the Columbia this morning. This is the Vancouver, the Springs at the Waterfront camera. Temperatures are comfortable again this morning, 49 degrees, matching PDX. Salem's 50, Bend's 46. Cloudiness across our state, and nobody's cold because of that. 38 is the chilly spot out in Baker City. So today we're just kind of waiting for that mid to late afternoon round of rain to return coming up from the south. Southeast winds 5 to 15. Some areas could hit 60 today. We generally have highs in the upper 50s. Similar situation up in southwest Washington. And here's the 7-day. 59 today, the late day rain. And then the somewhat wild weather the next couple of days, definitely impacting your plans outside. Going to be kind of rough going if you're doing construction work the next couple of days outdoors. Friday, it all comes to an end. No wind really by morning, and eventually the showers end as well. We may or may not see Sunday evening rain. Otherwise, the entire weekend, Friday night through Sunday, looks to be dry. Here's Chris.
For like the first time in like months, right?
Yeah, yes.
A month. I think you pointed that out earlier. All right, let's go over the west side. 217 northbound. Well, I don't see the fender bender, but I can certainly show you the evidence. This is going to be north of Denny, and there's your northbound commute that's lined up basically from Denny back past Shoals Ferry towards 99W. So plan a few extra minutes there. Traffic's moving, albeit pretty slowly. Meanwhile, the other slow spot we've been watching here, an earlier fender bender on a 205, not far from Stafford Road. It's southbound. Traffic is really slow right now south of the Westland area. So if your commute is, say, from Oregon City to Tualatin, plan at least an extra 10 minutes right now. We're lined up solidly now back towards the Gladstone area. It's not unusual to see this camera this slow, but the length of it being about 7 miles of pretty thick traffic is up a little bit. All right, lost that camera. Sorry for that, but the drive is still there and it's busy. That's the I-5 commute from Clark County. 25 minutes now. Get you from Main Street to the Fremont Bridge. Guys.
Thank you, Chris. So to come on Sunrise, former Vice President Dick Cheney is dead at 84. We'll have a look back at his life and legacy when Sunrise streaming live at 7 continues.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Former Vice President Dick Cheney died last night at the age of 84. His family issued a statement saying he suffered complications from pneumonia and cardiac and vascular disease. Blaine Alexander looks back at his life and political career.
Before he held the office, vice presidents were the butt of jokes. Dick Cheney was a force. In 2000, the closest presidential election ever sent him to the White House.
So help me God.
Cheney was there alone on September 11, 2001. He ordered the administration's first response to the deadliest attack on U.S. soil. Cheney knew the Situation Room. He had been Gerald Ford's chief of staff 3 decades earlier, then a Wyoming congressman for 6 terms, the House GOP whip, leaving to be defense secretary for George H.W. Bush.
Should Saddam Hussein be foolish enough to launch an attack against Saudi Arabia?
Cheney confronting Iraq's dictator for the first time. After 9/11, Vice President Cheney led the push for an invasion to depose Saddam Hussein. But no weapons of mass destruction were found. Iraq descended into civil war. U.S. troops became targets.
Bring the troops home!
Many Americans came to see the Iraq War as a mistake, but Dick Cheney never did.
Saddam Hussein wakes up every day in a jail cell. His sons are dead. And Iraqis by the millions have embraced democracy.
An avid hunter, Cheney in 2006 accidentally wounded a friend with birdshot. Cheney had faced decades of heart problems, in a wheelchair for the 2009 inauguration.
I think Barack Obama is a one-term president.
A 5th heart attack in 2010. In 2012, Cheney got a heart transplant, but coronary disease did not weaken his hardline on al-Qaeda and enhanced interrogations that others called torture.
They were legal, essential, justified, successful, and the right thing to do. This nation has defeated tyrants and liberated death camps.
Dick Cheney, a self-confident and controversial leader who shaped America's war on terror. Lane Alexander, NBC News, Washington.
She says she was trying to protect her Southeast Portland business, but instead ended up in the hospital. Coming up at 7:30, a look at the security video that shows the robbery that happened moments before. A 73-year-old store owner says she was attacked by 3 men wearing masks.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
We're coming up on 7:29 on your Tuesday morning drive. Got some trouble on 217 northbound, a crash north of Denny. I can't see the crash, but I can show you the evidence here, which is a really slow commute right now on northbound 217 between Shoals Ferry, or between 99W, excuse me, and Denny. Meanwhile, to the south side of town here, actually past West Lynn on I-205, we had an earlier crash near Stafford Road. It appears that that's out of the way, but the drive is actually a little unusually slow all the way back to the Gladstone area. So plan some extra time there for sure. And of course, slow and steady out of Clark County on the I-5 drive. That's 25 minutes down Main Street to the Fremont Bridge. Rod?
Thank you for that, Chris. Good morning. Outside of maybe a misty spot and some of the fog, especially we have fog up in elevation a little bit around the area, we're all dry. I want to show you Timberline live this morning. A lot of the snow that fell some time ago is gone, and it will be all rain up through 7 and even 8,000 feet on the mountain overnight tonight when that next batch of moisture comes in. Good visibility across the Interstate Bridge, Portland 49. We're looking at rain coming in mid to late afternoon, south to north up the valley.
7:30 half hour of the Sunrise Show on this Tuesday morning. You like that shot, Rod?
I do, yeah.
We were showing the shot earlier. I think we only had 2 of the mountain goats in the shot about 20 minutes ago. Now we've got all 3.
Yeah.
And we also have names.
Here we go.
A couple of weeks ago, we were wondering what the heck are the names of these goats? I can tell you. We've got Lena, we've got Murphy, and we've got Sassy. Now, don't ask me who's who.
But they know. That's
I
important.
want to know who's Sassy.
Yeah, well, that's a good question or a good point, Chris. Who's Sassy?
Let's reenact what they were doing. You're looking in, you're looking that way, and then somebody's looking like this.
Yeah.
Now we're the goats.
These are the goats of the Sunrise Show coming at you on a Tuesday.
Yeah, there you go.
Red Goat, what do you got for us?
Here we go. We have another batch of rain that we're tracking coming in later today into the evening. You see the clouds just starting to pick up right here. That's the moisture that will come inland and push south to north up the valley. Could be raining in Salem as early as 3 o'clock. Could be raining in Portland as early as 4 o'clock. Maybe it's a little bit later than that, but certainly if you have evening plans, I would expect it to be raining. In the meantime, we have low clouds that are just nipping some of the trees and buildings around the area. There's our state capitol in Salem, 50 degrees. We are generally all dry and generally will stay dry until that batch of rain comes in later this afternoon, as I mentioned. Portland 49 is the number. Here's your planner. Comfortable day, 56 at noon. We could hit 60 potentially. Now, rain is expected to be arriving in time for the afternoon drive back home. Sun down today, 4:52. Temperatures anywhere from mid-50s to about 60 for a high. Here's Chris.
The raindrops like tears for the sunset before 5 o'clock, right? All right. Well, hopefully we're not breaking into tears with the drive this morning, but the northbound 217 commute is suffering a bit. A crash just north of Denny. I don't see it on camera here, but you can see the northbound commute has come to a screeching halt here. I mean, it is moving, but very, very slowly right now, and that extends back to 99W for that northbound slowing. Meanwhile, the trip out of Clark County, of course, heavy over the Interstate Bridge. That keeps going up in the drive time fun meter, about 26 minutes or so to get you in from Main Street to the Fremont. And speaking of I-5, later on this week, Thursday night, I want to let you know about this. I-5, there's a full closure, both directions of I-5 between the Markham Bridge and Terwilliger. That starts at 11 o'clock on Thursday. The road should reopen by 5 o'clock Friday morning. ODOT is doing some sign bridge installation on I-5. There will be more subsequent closures coming up in the weeks ahead. We'll, of course, let you know about those ahead of time. Your traffic solution around that closure, Barber Boulevard. Guys?
All right, thank you, Chris. Top story here at 7:30. Police are looking for the man or the men behind a robbery that turned violent and sent the owner of a Southeast Portland liquor store to the hospital.
Catherine Cook walks us through that security video.
In Southeast Portland, it's business as usual at the liquor store on Southeast 52nd and Powell. A stark contrast to what happened here Friday night, Halloween. Around 6:45, security video shows 3 men walking in wearing masks. You can see them grab merchandise off the shelves before walking out without paying for it. At that point, you see the store's owner, a 73-year-old woman, according to family members, follow them outside. On Facebook, the owner's daughter, Jennifer Fuller, says her mom had hoped to take back some of what was stolen, but then things took a violent turn. It wasn't captured on camera, but Fuller says in a panic to protect her business, her mom reached into the suspect's car. She says they slammed the car door on her hand, causing her to fall, then dragged her through the parking lot before she could finally free her arm. Fuller says her mom suffered a traumatic brain bleed, a fractured skull, and several broken bones. Please pray for us for a miracle, Fuller wrote, that our amazing mom, who was in great health and has never had a broken bone in her young 73 years of life, can come through this. Police tell KGW the major crimes team is investigating the case. They didn't issue a description of the suspects, but here's another look at what the cameras captured. Loved ones hope anyone who's able will share these images, and that anyone who knows who these men are or what car they were driving will tell police. Catherine Cook, KGW News.
New this morning, Portland police are looking for more victims after they arrested a St. Helens man on charges including sodomy and sexual abuse. In January, Portland police received 2 separate reports from women who said that they were sexually assaulted by a man that they met on dating apps. Both women said the incidents happened around Southeast 47th and Hawthorne. They say this man right here, 26-year-old Cameron Hinman, used physical force to engage in sexual activity. Both women needed medical attention. Hinman was taken into custody last Friday, and on arrest warrant, police believe that there may be other victims. Anyone with information is asked to contact Portland Police.
Police are also investigating 5 shootings that happened across the city this past weekend. 2 of them were deadly. One person was found dead in a parking lot downtown, the other at a North Portland gas station, and at least 4 other people were injured during the spree of weekend shootings.
Any loss of life, regardless of the circumstances, is a tragedy for us as a community, and it's something that we should never just have be a statistic or a number.
That's Portland Police Chief Bob Day, who says Portland has seen 41 homicides so far this year. Last year, around the same time, there were 62.
Battleground police are investigating a string of car break-ins across multiple neighborhoods, including Creekside Heights and Mill Creek Meadows. Officers believe that the suspect is a man in his 30s with a shaved head and dark clothing. They say the distance between reports indicate that he's driving between locations and believe he may be responsible for several incidents. If you recognize him or if you have footage of a similar break-in, call Battleground Police.
All right, today is Election Day. Voters across Oregon and Southwest Washington taking into account some big measures this evening and again later tonight.
Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz joins us now. So Thomas, walk us through some of these ballot measures in Southwest Washington.
Yeah, well, guys, up in Clark County, voters really have 2 big decisions to make revolving around funding for police and fire departments. In Camas and Washougal, voters will decide whether or not to approve funding for a regional fire authority. The Camas Washougal Fire Department is the only one in Clark County that currently runs 2-person engines. The extra funds would allow the agency to create 3-person engines instead. The city of Washougal says the change would create higher levels of service and also just streamline operations. It costs about $1 for every $1,000 of assessed value of a property. In Vancouver, voters will decide whether or not to fund 13 more police officers. We all know the city's seen big growth, and with it, since 2017, Vancouver says dispatchers are receiving 24% more calls. That's, of course, leading to longer response times, as you'd imagine. The measure would cost 15 cents per year per $1,000 of a property's value. That's about $75 for a $500,000 home. Now, if you haven't dropped off your ballot yet, you have just over today to do it. Look, these ballot boxes are going to close at 8 p.m. tonight. If you're trying to get it in the mail, you need to postmark it once again by 8 p.m., but ensure that it is postmarked with today's date to make sure that that ballot is counted. Guys?
Thomas, thank you. And Multnomah County's controversial voter-approved Preschool for All program is adding 240 more tuition-free seats, and applications are now available for classes starting in January.
These additional 240 seats get us to over 3,800 seats for this school year, and we are working on the expansion plan for next year.
There are no income requirements to apply to the program, but keep in mind 900 people are already on a wait list to get in. Placements will start at the end of next month.
Rod Hill, what do you have for us in the weather department?
Well, I want to remind folks that we do have the impact alert up for tomorrow and on Thursday. There's a cold front coming in each day. Each day is going to see just occasional shots of heavy rain coming and going. Winds will be noticeable almost every single second. South wind gusts could be 30 to 40, especially tomorrow morning into the noon hour in the valley. And there could be some thunderstorms mixed in as well. So again, impact alert for the fact that we'll have somewhat wild weather the next couple of days. No watches, warnings, or advisories posted from the Weather Service. Just a couple blustery, rainy days that might have a thunderstorm mixed in. All right, outside right now, all is quiet. We do have clouds, but we are basically dry. Here's Snook Wind's Casino Resort camera in Lincoln City. And the clouds go across much of our state, including out in the gorge. Here's Elk Ridge Golf Course in Carson on the Washington side of the gorge. Things are still wet down low from the rain that we had overnight, but all of that has ended. Our KGW dogs of the day, I got to stop saying that. We are now doing pet of the day, hence we have ducks. And the ducks this morning are Penelope and Watson. Pet of the day at kgw.com is the email address. Send us your pets, photos and names, and they will become our pets of the day. All right, so the big story today is we're all dry into mid-afternoon. starting around 3 or so. Rain coming up to Eugene and up into Albany. Could be raindrops up into Portland before 5 p.m. and then it's a rainy evening. Rain this afternoon expected to move into central Oregon as well, and then eventually push all the way up through the gorge. 59 today's high. Dry start, wet finish. The impact alert Wednesday and Thursday. The winds will be calmer by Friday morning, and then during the day Friday, the showers will be ending, and that should set up a dry Friday evening, dry Saturday, and mainly a dry Sunday as well. Here's Chris.
You mean there won't be rain on a Saturday?
Wouldn't that be crazy?
Like the first time in a month.
Yes.
All right, let's get you out the door. We'll start off with some new trouble near the Fremont Bridge. It looks like we've got a disabled semi right now on the ramp. That's a tough way to start your morning there. The ramp to 405 South at the I-5 split, right? So that's got the right shoulder and the right lane blocked, adding to the slowing, of course, which doesn't need any help at this point, all the way back into Clark County. We're up to 30 minutes to get you in from Main Street to the Fremont Bridge. The I-205 drive has also really picked up here in the last little bit. That's now jumped up to 25 minutes to get you in from Patton Parkway. And hopping over to the west side, we still have this crash on 217, guys. It's northbound, just north of Allen Boulevard. I don't see it on camera, but the lineup here on 217 is basically from Allen Boulevard all the way back past Greenberg Road. So you're going to need some extra time there as well. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Chris.
Because value is king with consumers, this is a great way for them to extend their dollar.
Raise your hand if you want to save money this holiday season. Who's not going to raise their hand, right? So coming up here on Sunrise, we'll take a look at a growing trend that aims to help shoppers save big during the holidays. And take a look at this. Oreo, they've managed to squeeze the entire Thanksgiving feast into their cookies. We will explain that when Sunrise continues after this. Before we go to break, though, a quick mention about the KGW Great Toy Drive. This is day 2 of the drive, and we are excited to tell you that it's easy to give this year. Just go online, kgw.com/toy. That's where you can give cash and let us do the toy shopping for you. Of course, if you'd rather give in person and give the old-fashioned way, you can donate toys. You can drop them off in person at any IQ Credit Union location, any Fred Meyer store, or any local Toyota dealership. We do ask that you bring them new and unwrapped.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
I'm going to say it shouldn't be this way, but according to a recent bank rate survey, 1 in 4 people will actually wind up taking on debt to get through their holiday shopping.
So how can you buy something special without carrying a debt well past the holidays? Michael Yoshida has more on how some shoppers are saving this holiday season.
'Tis the season when gift giving can take over our lives. But with many Americans still worried about rising costs, resale or secondhand shopping is becoming a more popular way for finding value and meaning in gifts.
What we're finding is that consumers are ready to spend nearly 40% of their holiday budgets on secondhand which is up significantly from last year.
Alon Rotem of ThreadUp, an online thrift store, says the stigma around buying secondhand is starting to disappear, with it becoming more mainstream.
Because value is king with consumers, this is a great way for them to extend their dollar and get more for their money. Secondhand is also a way to sort of cut through the noise of the ordinary and find more unique items that tell a story, items that are more personal.
Other ways to save. Start early to take advantage of end-of-summer clearance sales. Don't wait until Black Friday. Use reward credit cards, taking advantage of cash back or points. And to keep your holiday shopping from turning into a financial horror show, remember, for your debit card, know your balance, don't overdraft and suffer fees. For your credit card, even if you have a high limit, don't spend beyond your budget. And with buy now, pay later options, try not to use them for discretionary spending that can quickly add up.
Very easy to forget, say 2 out of the 20 small purchases with different payment due dates that you made from a few months ago. And once you have missed payments, they may get reported to the credit bureaus.
All right, some other consumer headlines for you this morning. Paramount and Jon Stewart signed a new deal that will keep Stewart as host of The Daily Show one night a week through next year's midterms. Stewart originally led the show from 1999 to 2015. Then he came back last year to host on Monday nights only. This extended run will come as Paramount is restructuring and ended The Late Show with Stephen Colbert next year, or ends this show next year, I should say. Network executives say Stewart's return keeps their focus on incisive comedy and sharp commentary.
Krispy Kreme is spicing up its menu. The chain is expanding from 10 donuts to 16, adding new flavors like New York cheesecake, cinnamon apple, and Oreo cookies and cream. Meanwhile, blueberry, Rod's favorite, lemon, and cake batter, which I didn't know they had and now I want, are coming off the menu. You can get the new donuts plus limited flavors like maple iced and pumpkin spice starting today.
All right, Oreo is now in the Thanksgiving dinner business.
All right.
The cookie brand is rolling out 6 new holiday flavors. Who asked for them? I don't know, but they're giving them to you anyway. Those flavors include turkey and stuffing. How about this, Rod? Thumbs up or thumbs down as I rattle through this.
Okay.
Turkey and stuffing. No, they can't see. You got to say it out loud.
Oh, down. Thumbs down.
He was putting his thumb down in the studio, I promise. Sweet potato.
Up.
Cream corn.
No.
Up because I'm curious.
Okay. Here we go. Caramel apple pie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Pumpkin pie.
Yeah.
Cranberry sauce.
Yeah. All right. I guess I'll try most of those except for the turkey ones.
So you can't get this on regular store shelves. You can only order these special cookies through the Oreo website. And if you do, they'll send them to you in a special tin with 2 flavors in each tin.
The tin looks kind of cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
It's a keepsake, you might say.
You might say.
People would put their sewing stuff in it.
I mean, the Oreo, to me, that's one of the, it's like the classic Oreo.
Yeah.
Does it need to be any better? Just give it to me.
I have a business proposal for Oreo.
Oh, wow.
Because there's so many different flavors and I want to try, but I don't want to buy a whole thing of them. So why don't they do a variety pack of all their different flavors?
It's a good idea.
Genius.
Wow, genius, yeah.
Genius.
Please give
Cookie
me
genius.
I will say that some years ago, and I know we got going, they came out with the thin Oreos where the cookie part's a little thinner.
Ratio's off.
I like those. I like them much, much uncomparably better than the original.
No.
So you definitely don't like the double stuff. You're out on double stuff.
Yeah.
Well, those are my favorite.
I'm already double stuffed. I don't need more double stuffing. I'll take my double stuff with me wherever I go. Here's a look at the satellite radar. We've got our next weather system offshore. Remember, we have the impact alert up for what we think will be 2 pretty active wild weather days tomorrow and Thursday. Occasional shots of heavy rain, gusty south blustery winds blowing more than not, and maybe some thunderstorms mixed in. The next wave of rain, you see it's raining in Northern California right now, but we are dry. The next wave of rain will be coming up from the south mid to late afternoon into the valley. Here's the way Futurecast times it. At 3 o'clock this afternoon, raining Eugene, crawling up into Tillamook, but dry in Portland. And then somewhere in the 4 to 5 o'clock hour, Portland starts to get some rain. And then the rain machine is going, not steady, but just, here we go. Just keeps on coming, keeps on coming. This is Thursday noon. This is Thursday at 6 p.m. Rain totals between what starts later today through Friday noon, well over 2 to maybe pushing 3 at the coast. And on average, again, I always tell you, don't get fixated with a number in a city. Just see if the weather model can hit what's going to be the range. So the range for the valley would be at least over an inch, with most of us somewhere about 1.25 inches to 1.5 inches. So we'll see if we can do that. We picked up over 0.7 of an inch of rain in spots from that last batch of rain that ended last night, by the way. Here's a look at futurecast winds. Again, there's no watches or warnings. We just think it's going to be noticeably blustery out. There's a 40-mile-per-hour wind gust in Salem, maybe 45 tomorrow morning. Here's noon tomorrow, some south winds in Salem gusting 36, maybe 40 miles per hour. Again, no watches, warnings, or advisories are posted, but the weather with the heavy rain and the noticeably blustery winds and maybe a thunder roar mixed in will mess with you outdoors. All right, here's a look at the Rose City. We have fog in the West Hills. You can see that behind the cityscape. 49 is the temperature outside. Very comfortable. We have clouds statewide, so nobody's cold. I mean, Baker City and Spokane are the only two spots on our dual map here that have into the 30s this morning. Valley forecast numbers could get up to about 60. If you have some fog, you might have some mist. Otherwise, we are dry. Rain returning to the valley mid-afternoon. Rain returning late afternoon into early evening, it looks like, once you cross the Columbia up into Clark and Cowlitz counties. Wind direction today southeast. Tomorrow, the impact alert that we talked about. It'll be warm at night. In fact, it'll be rain as high as 8,000 feet on Mount Hood overnight tonight, not snow. Then we've got everything ends on Friday. It'll be dry by evening and then a nice Saturday. We have an evening shower or rain chance on Sunday, but that might hold off. So I think there's still reason to assume or think or wish or pray, whatever you do, that the weekend would be dry. Here's Chris.
Let's hope for that. Do we hope? We hope. All right. Good news, bad news. Bad news is we've got a crash. Good news is it looks like it's in the clearing stages right now, over under the shoulder. But the damage done here on the Glen Jackson Bridge, because the lineup now is pretty thick, into Clark County. So I-205 right now, you hit the brakes south of about SR 500 and you're puttering along at about 10, 12 miles an hour to get across the bridge. So that has spiked up to almost 25 minutes. That's your Padden Parkway to Interstate 84 drive time. Of course, the I-5 commute's always heavy. That's nearly 40 minutes to get you in from Main Street. And over on the west side, an earlier fender bender on 217 northbound near Allen Boulevard. Looks like that's finally out of the way, but you can see the northbound commute is slow all the way back to 99W. So once again, you got to plan a few extra minutes in that part of your commute as well. We'll be right back.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yeah.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
What started as a call for help over the summer ended last week with a guilty verdict after a woman in domestic violence situation called 911 and pretended to order a pizza.
Before we share some of that 911 call, we want to let you know we altered the woman's voice to protect her identity. We're also not using her name in the story. Here's KGW's Devin Haskins with the details.
Inside an apartment complex in Gresham, a call for help.
911, what's the address of the emergency?
I would like to order a pizza. A 911 dispatcher on one end, a woman on the other.
Okay, is there an apartment number?
I would like pineapple, chicken,
and tomato sauce.
The call happened in July. A man and a woman had gotten into an argument that turned violent.
This incident happens. He ends up grabbing a metal pole that they found in the living room and using it against her.
The woman then locks herself in a bedroom and quietly calls for help.
Do you have an emergency? Just answer yes or no.
Yeah.
And ultimately, she makes the very smart and very brave decision to call police, which is not something she's really done in the past.
Annika Banda is a deputy district attorney with Multnomah County. She primarily focuses on domestic violence cases.
Getting cases even to my office, I think, is difficult. A lot of times people just want the police to come, they want it kind of to go away, and they want the situation to be diffused, but even getting them to make the initial call sometimes is a lot.
Yeah, domestic violence is control, it's manipulation, it's isolation.
Margot Martin is the CEO of Bradley Angle, an organization in Multnomah County that supports survivors of domestic violence. National statistics show that 1 in 4 women will become a victim.
It's hard to capture, right, the actual impact because many survivors are scared to go to authorities, scared to reach out to organizations.
Calling 911 to order a pizza was brought to light in a Super Bowl commercial in 2015.
Hey, what's going on there?
I'd like to order a pizza for delivery.
It's not in their training, but dispatchers are trained to listen for cues and other indicators in a caller's voice.
I think she just picked up that there was something ongoing, and we were kind of fortunate that this was a really, that this call taker really understood kind of what was going on.
How long is that delivery going to be now?
It's going to be real quick, okay?
The accused in the case was ultimately convicted of 2nd and 4th degree assault and unlawful use of a weapon. The assault charge is a mandatory sentence of 70 months.
Also, a reminder this morning, if you or someone you know is dealing with domestic violence, help is available 24/7 by calling the National Domestic Violence Hotline. That number is on your screen, 800-799-7233. You can also text 88788 for help. The Sunrise Show will continue in the 8 o'clock hour in just